Say my chenny, tina get I say my yamu. And yes I know money, emu aye yo. And you love emu aye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I don't get now ya to money. That's the thing, and I don't get it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lopa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out of the club. Qualified people who waiting to sell. The flesh, the time, and the efforts are red. The broadcast we giving are real and I promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather, Nima to Lufa. From River Sass, River G to Chile. From Banku, Bombay, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Backbolu. From Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Indeed, we the best in the land, LRB. We the best in the land, LRB. So indeed, folks, what's going on here? Let me see. Yes, let me see this. All right, good to go. We yes, we apologize for any kind of interruptions or so forth. But again, folks, yeah, man, what thing be this? It's not easy sometimes to set up. Good. Are we okay? Yes. You know, some the people have that song, right? Somebody message and again say, I don't know what kind of thing. Is everything okay? So that move now. Good evening to people. Good evening. It's good to be back. Since last evening, we were here and we've been discussing with you, telling you all of the things that will be happening last evening, and today we're back after all of the observations. Some of you already observed some of it happening today, but good evening. Let's share the show first. Today the show will be far different. Mark will be here, Aisha. Steve likely join us today, or maybe Mr. Kane, and the rest of the team will be here with us this evening on the Sktv show. Also Muna and the rest of the team from Nimba County, Cyprian Corley and the rest of the team. They will join us also on this Tuesday edition of the Sktv show. Today, the 13th. For a matter of fact, today is the birthday of my little princess. So I want to say happy birthday to you, little Fina Meli Kula. For a matter of fact, she celebrated her first year, or that is 1 year now. She +1. So I want to say thanks to all of you, the Sktv family. You know, you're always there with us. You know, you in fact, you are the chief engineer of all of these things, you know, today that we are enjoying. So let me say thanks to all of you, those of you in radio land, those of you on the internet. You know, yeah, you know, mainly mother and myself, we got married on July 16, 2023, and we decided to, you know, to go by God's word, you know, to be able to be fruitful and to multiply, and most definitely, so we did. And the woman, she was able to, you know, to give birth in May, which was last year, May 13. And today marked 1 year of the child. So I want to say happy blessed birthday to SKTV baby. You know that house it's a kind of how we call SKTV baby. Today she celebrated her birthday. In fact, I don't know how come that little kid she just overplus some kind of way. But she in fact she not telling me that you got to fake it. Oh yeah, they life. Look, they life that easy. If you don't fake it in Liberia, you can make it. Let's share the show, people. Yeah. Somebody asking me, but what you mean by that? You gotta fake it though. If you don't fake anything in this life, you will not easily make it. And that's just the fact. So again, folks, I will recognize all of you, but please let's share the show this evening. Mark will soon be here. Cyprian Colley will join us from Nimba County, and that of the team there also from Bon County, if possible, they may likely join us. Mind you, we are in a rain season, so sometimes you will see some of our team members. They may not come on just because of the bad weather. But again, how be it? We are here. Today is the 13th of May. Today's Tuesday, the 5th month. So many things happening. So many things to talk about. The fun on there now. People, look, I like Liberia. Yeah, I like. Look, people, this country, yeah, it's not easy to don't undo your don't undo yourself. That means don't be citizen for another country. Be citizen for Liberia. That's the only way you enjoy one of the best of life. You know, we who are Liberians, we are proud because so many ways you can survive. You know, if you don't survive on the other side, you will either survive on the other side. So when you hear me talking about fake it to make it, we're looking for chairman, and we will finally get the chairman. Yeah, I know you're wondering who will be the chairman. The chairman for fake it and make it. Yeah, let me see first. Let me energize further. I will tell you who the chairman is. And I know my own man will not hold me in contempt. I know very well. I know very well. I know that my own man myself, we are best of friends. So he won't hold me in contempt. Yeah, you know. But on a very serious note, so our chairman will be no one else, the newly elected speaker. Yeah, he will be our chairman. Look, this life, you gotta be strong. Even the people that you can make it, you don't have to give up. Get it? Look, somebody just give one shout out. I want to see all of you commenting with one. You know, they have the kind of thing, how they call it. Um, one, yeah, I think Emin Hammond know that one shot for the paper. Wow. Two shots for the paper. Wow, wow. You know, you give these shots out to the man because he's our chairman, some of us. So very, very soon, Steve now, I will tell Steve, I'm elected to Steve secretary position over to him because I'm not going to be making life look like we always have to survive. And when you not do it that way, you won't survive. Especially here in Liberia. That's true. So don't get fair. Some of you, I know you're getting your feelings, but that's the fact. This life, we finally get our chairman. And our chairman sitting at the higher table. You got to fake the life before you make it. So if you don't fake it, you won't make it. That is to say that people who struggling, who want to be straight, who want to be fair, who want to get things going the right way, they're the ones struggling. But people who think that the best thing to do is for them to, you know, make things the other way so that their life can get better, and they're the one enjoying. But again, folks, 11 minutes past 6. That's the time check. Good evening to all of you, those of you who are joining us. Let me recognize a few of you quickly. I don't want my team to come on, then we'll start. But if some of them come on, then we'll also start. Let me see. I think the ambassador will also join us here this evening. Let me see our best to send the link around to most of our team members. Let's see our best they will join us here this evening on the SKTV show. So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us, and please let's share the show. You know all these things we're saying, that's just the fact. If you don't fake it in Liberia, you will not make it. That's the fact. So you can interpret, you can say what you want to say. Because the real people are struggling. Man, I don't know what some of you. Yeah, man. So people, let's share the show. That's the fact. The people who are qualified, they're struggling. Good. Monk is here already. And the people that get first degree, what happened to them? They are not the one enjoying life. You better go sleep. Monk, my brother, good evening.
What's up, Midbone? And what's up to the listening audience from the US and all over the world, Liberia most specifically. Another edition of Sktv. Today is what? Tuesday, right? Today is it?
Yes, indeed. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah,
And
2 weeks from now, we'll be talking about June, and June will soon be here. Happy birthday to your lady, madam. I commented on all her photos today. I got to find my birthday present as well. So to our SKTV listener, today our small madam birthday on SKTV. 1 year.
Yeah, no, for matter of fact, Monk, in fact, like your daughter, so like your daughter birthday today.
But the thing is, you blessed just like me. I mean, your daughter and your birthday come the same month. My son and myself got the same birth month. We get few days apart. On the 7th, on the 11th of June. Steve and myself got the same birthday, but my picking came 4 days or before me in terms of the birthday. But that's a good thing anyway. So that's it.
Yeah, you know that one I just so overwhelmed. You know, yeah. So people just saying, "Oh, maybe I said the child is just blessed," because the mom just said that the fact. Anytime you give people the kind of thing where someone will be having opportunity to have child in their birth month, it's not easy. That job by God's grace. So in the month you are quite correct. But my brother, I was saying something about fake it to make it, especially in Liberia when you are too serious, or when you are too fair. Nobody care about you. What say you?
Well, it all depends who you are talking to. Fake it to make it also an affirmation. They call it, or how they can call it, positive, or how they call it, positive thinking or positive mental attitude. That sometimes when you believe in something, you got to pretend like you already have. Then the universe is going to respond. That's mental physics. But it all depends. Some people don't like to fake it, but at the end of the day, that's how life is supposed to be. You got to create that emotion first and believe. They say whatsoever you believe in your heart, when you believe it, and then you can receive it. That even the Bible said that it all depends on how you go about doing it. But that's just why it is. Some people can say fake it or they make it, but I just believe it's positive expectation or positive mental attitude that when you are working towards something, you got to pretend like you already have it before you can receive it. That's just why it is.
Indeed. So in passing, Monk, I was looking for our chairman, and by God's grace, people are also recommend that in fact we have a new chairman, because I think the new speaker of ours, I hope you know, look, speaker, that's such a thing we're talking. Honorable speaker, let me just make that correction before you say, oh, the people were talking. So, Monk, I was looking at the man life. It's like they may be going through like this, and for another, you still see that. What say you?
It was a politics. The first thing I hope they will do is to unite the house and make sure, because it's been so long, whenever you create this kind of attention in the house, it's like the country is on the edge. People don't know what to expect. We're already running behind the 8 ball when it comes to development in every way or form, by every measurable index, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education. Liberia is already behind. And then you got 6 months, which is almost half of the year, or 7 months, just to get the leadership from the house, to get the house in order. So the first thing they must do, they must reunite the house and get the Liberian people business going. We thank God we passed this nonsense in a total waste of time. Can you imagine putting the country through all this mess?
Mark, I beg you, tell us a second. You will come to all that, but I'm talking about they are fake it to make it. Because if you look at the speaker, that's the kind of role that almost like you play what you just explained. So I don't want our people to understand maybe what we say before they say, oh, it is somebody fakes here, they put it up. No. So more, because when you just explain more, it just simplify that. Indeed, sometimes you got to be brave, strong, and intelligent.
That's it. They say whatsoever you believe, you can have it, right? That's what they did. They took a calculated risk politically, and the bet pay off. Like I say, it's all about control. It's all about money. It's all about people placed on committee. And that's why they went for it. Unity Party people took a risk, including the speaker. They knew what they were doing from the beginning. They calculated, and that's exactly what they went for. The numbers alone tells you that that's why they had in mind. Some people say, oh, you need 49. Oh, I said, no. Those people got 43. And guess what? Their caucus it didn't break. They didn't even lose a single member, even though 4 of the lawmakers never participated in the process, but they got exact 43. Can you imagine that? Chairmanability ended with 26. I don't know. So it tells you that they knew from day one that they were going to win this battle. It was very easy. When I was watching the vote, right? It almost like you've been to the casino before, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. They got something they call risk aversion, right? When you go to the casino is not the one gambling. When you sit behind a slot machine, you are the one gambling, right? That's why they get it talk. They say the horse always win. The reason they came out with that particular idea that the horse always wins is very easy. The casino understand that the way in which all the games in the casino are programmed, it gave them an edge that over a long period of time, they will always be the one that will win, right? Say if you're to walk to a casino, you took your 25 cents and you put in a slot machine and you won $50. Yeah, you happy you won $50, but the casino is not worrying. The casino know that the more customers that come to the casino over time, they will make that money back and profit. So in the end, they cannot be the loser, they will always be the winner. For the fact that this thing started with 43 to begin with the majority black, I knew that no matter how you drag it, they were going to come up on top. They were the casino, and the people that were going against them were the players in the casino. So they took a calculated risk, and they ended up winning the fight. So I don't have anything else to say. It's just a confirmation. Like I said, looking at the numbers alone, it just ended up to exactly what we started from day one. Some people say, oh, they fixed signature, but at the end of the day, it was 43. And it ended up with exact 43. Even though 4 lawmakers never participated in the process. But once again, House of Determinability, he did his utmost best. It's just that he went into a game where the odds were already against him. So it was
and more to that, I saw your post also concerning that, and I think that your post makes a lot of sense. But again, thank you, because we already started the show already. Those of you who just joining us, I was trying to put more legs when it comes to the issue of fake it to make it, but at the end of the day, we already go now into the show, so no time to waste. Thank you, my dear brother. Yeah, so more. Yeah.
But you must look. It all depends how you are faking it.
Because
let me tell you something. You gotta know what to expect, right? They get something called unrealistic expectation. You won't get something done. That's not the kind of fake it and make it. The fake it to make it means you got a positive expectancy, you got a positive mindset, and you're working towards a goal. So you must pretend already that you have. And now, the Bible, that gets offensive. We are saying faith. When you read the Bible, right? I don't know of other religion. The Bible says, and they say faith is a substance of hope. Of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. In layman terms, it means that what you believe in, you should first believe that you have it, and then over time you will work towards having it. That's just why it is. So fake it to make it. It all depends. Like I said, who you ask that question, but it's the same idea either way.
Great, my dear brother. So that go back to your post and your statement also saying we're already into the show. Those of you who just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. And please also leave your comment. I know maybe you have your own say into all of the things that we'll be discussing here this evening based on your own maybe thinking about what happened on today. But mind you, today the House of Representatives go into elections, and they were able to have their new speaker. All I'm saying is not new, it's old. But again, I don't know which way that you want to put it. But again, as we all may be aware, there were this impasse that lasted for almost 7 months, and because of that, the Supreme Court also ruling that indeed all of the things that they were doing, they were all illegal, and Jeff Francisco have to resigned. Because of that, on today they have to go to elections, and their elections were peaceful and so someone would say it was good, they were magnificent, and today they were able to have their new speaker in person of Honorable Richard Nabekon, District number 11, representative who is the lawmaker, also the speaker of the 55th National Legislature. So again, Mark, back to your saying and that of your post. What is the significance of that post? Because myself, I'm a bit confused when I was reading through your post, because I have a lot of things that if
you have a lot of careful, that was a little bit confusing. Which one? I made 2 posts. I don't know which one. If you can reference one of them.
I think the one that you talk about the speaker, the time going to the elections and so forth. Let me go to it quickly and make sure that our people know exactly what we are saying here. So yes, okay, where is the post coming from, Mark? Because you have so many posts here today, but let me see. I think this one
I made posts. One of the posts I made, I say one of the greatest mathematical skill one could ever learn is calculating the future cost of present decision. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think this one about before participating. Yeah,
okay.
I think
The second one I posted, it was 3 hours ago. I said before participating in a random mass event, make sure the odds are in your favor, or else you might be settling for the gambler's fallacy. The gambler's fallacy is a betting fallacy that people believe that past outcome or past result can predict future outcome, and that's not true. Every time you take a risk, everything you do in life, maybe is a risk. When your woman gave birth, say it's a risk. She could end up coming from the delivery with a child, or she could end up dying in the process. But the only reason you keep pregnant your wife because you believe that the odds are in your favor, that more than likely she's going to survive if you go in for delivery, right? It's the same thing in any decision that you make in life. That's what I'm saying. For Chairman Belete, the game was already rigged against him. So in the case of Chairman Belete, that's why I said he was the gambler and the majority group were the casino. The game was structured in a way that they could only be the one to come up on top. And that's why I told you yesterday. I said the whole thing about election, whether they have an election or not, I could care less about the outcome of who win this election, because I know one group have the mathematical edge. They started with 43. Even if they have 41, they still could have put it off. So technically, Chairman Belete was the one swimming against ocean current. I guess one of the calculations was Thomas Fala will have factored himself into this race, making it a 3-horse race, because that's what I expected too. That was my calculation. Now, if you look at the number of lawmakers, now if you have a 3-horse race, then it means it would have been possible for either one of the three to have come up on top, right? Because you're looking at, let's say 73. So you're looking at anywhere between 29 to 30 who have given one person the edge. But those guys, like I said, they calculated. That's why Thomas Fala didn't even bother, because he knew there was no point. They already have the number. If Thomas Fala had participated, then it means they would have increased Chairman Belete's chance of being the next speaker. But if Thomas Fala stayed out, then the game was already rigged against Chairman Belete. So I will say once again, thanks for the participation, but you went into a fight that was already decided. Even though you still took the risk, it just wasn't meant for the minority black, and the numbers remain the same from day one. I didn't see nobody breaking from one group going on the other side. So at the end of the day, the majority, it would get a reaffirmation of Richard's speakership. I don't think it was an election, because if the election is rigged before the process, then there is no point in having an election. And I said it a couple of days ago, there was no point, and I had no interest in it anyway.
Wonderful, my brother. Thank you. We are also, those of you who just joining us today, the question I will be asking you is what next? After the election, I guess that all of us today, we've been following all of the impasse since October, right? Last year, October, when that started up to now, we are finally the entire impasse account to our end now. Some of say, but the legislative politics, the more we say, sometimes this thing happen, more we always tell us that sometimes as a speaker, you have to call in every morning to find out as to whether you have the numbers, because before going for session, you have to make sure. Maybe.
It's a numbers game. That's it. They don't go to work every day. It's a numbers game. In this country, I told them, I said they got something called a whip. I learned that from the former speaker that was upstairs. That was the last statement he made on live television in this country. John Boehner said, I screw up. I understand that anywhere in the world, the issue of politics is a numerical game. It's a numbers game. When the speaker wakes up from bed, before he brushes his teeth, he calls his whip. My man, how many people will got in our caucus today before getting on the floor? Oh, chief, 3 other men got problem with you. You know what? Call them. What do they want? Let negotiate. Let them tell me their problem, and then we can solve it, because I don't want to go on the floor and look ugly with not having the basic requirement to even be able to conduct business. And the thing here is the majority of black might believe that they have won the race, but it's also a precedent. It could go both ways. So I would tell a rule of law caucus or the majority black, keep your ducks in row. You don't know what can happen in politics. Politics is very dynamic. We could have a situation again 6 months from now, 3 years from now, 2 years from now.
And the president, sometimes more you are quite right, because sometimes the president may favor you, but after a certain time, the president may have that dream and say, no, I don't feel I want to work with this person anymore. So I had to find another person. And that happened though during the time of Manasali.
Maybe. Just take the president out of the equation. Whether the president favors you or not, the fact of the matter is legislative politics. Something could come from that house, whether it's a bill, whether it's about money issue, and there will be some disgruntled individual. And those disgruntled people could go either way. That's what I'm saying. In the short term, yeah, Rachel Kuhn may believe that he won, but it's a precedent also moving forward. That in the case, and some of us will be here in the long run, if the same situation present itself, the first decision I will be calling for from my own side, Rachel Kuhn, once you end up losing the numbers, because today again, the Supreme Court never made you speaker. Your colleagues were the one that stood in line to cast your ballot. And the moment you lost the support among your colleagues, that's it for you. I don't know no other process anywhere on this planet that works that way. So Rachel Kuhn, in the short term, you might claim to be the winner, but I know legislative politics, something will come out, and there will be people who will break away from you, and we will be here calling the same shot that you should call it quit and no argument. Matter of fact, for your case, we even won't spend 3 days on it. The moment you end up losing the support of your colleague, my brother, don't put the country in such a mess. Just call it quit. The whole stuff of going to the Supreme Court for intervention, no, we don't want it. So you can take your victory lap for now, but just know there is a precedent, because power can swing. You know, you can go, like they call it the pendulum, it can go out of way. So, yeah.
Great, Mark. We have the ambassador here, but quickly, let me say to those of you who just joining us on the platform, indeed, thank you so much for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the SKTV show. Today we have our own question, and the question is, what next after all of the impasse 7 months ago? Today we were all around here talking about people breaking laws, and today, in fact, Mark, surprisingly today I saw some of the lawbreakers also in the law is the law.
Yeah, because they had their own version. That's why I keep telling you, in the case of constitutional law, my brother, is an opinion. It all depends on your interpretation. Like I can remember one time we came on the show, we're talking about the situation in South Korea, right? The same constitution that gave the president the power to call for martial law, it was the same constitutional interpretation that said, you know what, you call for martial law, but when you're out of office, and that's how he ended up relinquishing his post as president in South Korea. So either way you look at it, Melbourne, everything is subject to the Constitution, and the Constitution is subject to an opinion, I would say. So they can, you know, they say that we not get story. That's why they want to teach the law. They knew the numbers were in the favor. I just hope that if it flips, they should say the law is also the law. For me, I'm not looking at the outcome. I'm looking at the precedent and moving forward, because I know this situation will repeat itself. I can guarantee you that, Melbourne. That's what I can say. Welcome, Ambassador.
Great. Yes, Ambassador, welcome to the show of the Tuesday edition. I see you. You look energetic and so forth, even though your political leader today was seen today at the legislature or at the lower house, where they participated into the speakership elections, and you were able to obtain 26 votes. Well, first of all, let me say a pleasant good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lebon. Thank you, Monk. Thank you. It's good to be back here tonight. It's a good thing that Liberia is going through this process. Like Mom said, Richard Kuhn has to be more careful, because the current government thinks that by having Richard Kuhn as a speaker, they can easily ride on him to get everything passed through. And that is going to be challenging for him. At a point, he's going to seriously go against some of the policies, some of the requests that the executive is going to be putting for. And this is exactly where the issues will be wrapped from. But quickly, they want to ask the question, what next? What next is prosecution. I posted something today and I said, since the House has come together to have a new election, and now that you have a new speaker, the first thing that needs to be done is the current speaker was a lawbreaker. He illegally ran this country for 6 months, 6 to 7+ months. And he illegally handled our budget. So what next is for Richard Kuhn to be prosecuted, which can be done under the law. Because when you break a law, you must bear the penalty. You must be prosecuted, and then you should come on board. We want to know what gave him the power to sign on the budget and everything that took place. So Richard Kuhn must be prosecuted. By now, he should be arrested. And yesterday I said it. He should be arrested. The rule of the caucus that is together, that is under that banner, rule of law caucus, now has a gavel that Richard Kuhn, since he has contested this election today, how did he resign before contesting? Did he resign from his speakership before contesting this election today? That's the question that many people are asking. You have been claiming to be a speaker. The executive branch have been working with you, and they said you are the speaker. And now today, seeing you in an election that you said that you have won. So have you resigned from that first speakership? So this tells us that this man was illegal, and everything that was done under him was criminal. So he should be prosecuted. Even as a speaker right now, as I'm speaking to you, he needs to be prosecuted. And the next thing is that the house was destroyed because of the same impact. Now we are calling on the house. And I spoke to my lawyer. There's something we want to do. We want to petition the entire house. They should take responsibility. That house that is destroyed should not be used. The people's taxes cannot be used to fix that house. The same lawmakers who spoiled that house, both the majority and minority, their salaries should be used to rebuild that house, to fix the things that have been destroyed on the Capitol building. That's exactly what we are calling for. I did a post on that, and we are still going to echo it so that these lawmakers can see themselves responsible for this act. We cannot let these two things to go. The Capitol building is burned down. Secondly, our budget was handled illegally by criminals. How can we let this thing go? There are people who are now in South Beach who did not even commit any crime. There are people in prison who did not commit any crime, but yet and still we took them and put them in prison. The court will put them in prison, police will put them in prison because somebody lied on somebody. Here is it now that a lawmaker broke a law criminally, illegally, and the same man is passing around and we are celebrating him. We are saying that Richard Kuhn should be prosecuted and should be brought to go to prison for whatever he did with even everybody that is connected to him. By the time the president leaves office, he will also be prosecuted. Trust this one. The CMC government is going to make sure that all of these people are prosecuted. Thank you.
Well, great. You are coming in with a very, very strong statement, even though we will be asking you some questions as to how that's going to work out. Because if you are giving power, or maybe if he gives power to one who's supposed to persecute or people, or maybe who have the authority of persecuting people, how would someone, in fact, so may likely ask, how will I be able to persecute myself? Because we get that sometimes these things don't easily happen that way. But again, we'll get back to you, Ambassador. But I don't know whether you want to chip in quickly on that. Maybe before you.
So this is why they have the plenary. Now, thank God that we have the Rule of Law Caucus, which is headed by one of the best leaders in Liberia, Honorable Musa Hassan Benedict. Now, the Rule of Law Caucus can take on that issue. They can take on that case. Put the document before the plenary. They are forced to go into it. The same house can sit down and discuss. Plenary can discuss this thing. The house can sit down and discuss. How was this budget used? If there was no speaker at the time, who handled that budget? It can be discussed. And then at the end of the day, that case can be forwarded. And trust me, the court will handle that case with seriousness. Oh yeah, so Richard Kuhn should not think that he's free. The plenary, through the rule of law, coming on board with this issue, raising it up in the session, this can be handled. And we will have a better solution. For me, that's it. And that's how it's going to be.
Well, Mark, I don't know whether you want to ask the ambassador, because some of his statement, someone said very, very strong indeed, but I don't know how that's going to work out, because mind you, we live in a country where people play on the intelligence of our people, and we've been seeing these things, and up to now, some of these things are happening though. But Mark, what say you?
Well, I don't know how they're going to execute that, because one thing people fail to realize that the House impasse were already in motion before the budget issue came out. Matter of fact, on Sktv, we even recommended that the budget should be used as, as a leverage to even end this legislative impasse, because the budget is a law. We all know the budget doesn't originate from the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court is also part and parcel of the budget. So their salaries, their extra amenities, their perks, everything comes from the budget. And when we have a legislative impasse, we knew what was happening. The Senate, who believed to be the horse of Edel, they were the first that signed up on it. That's alone tell you why the president was not going to store his agenda. I told people, because the first people that should have put that had all the option to put their foot down was the Senate. But guess what? It's all about the budget. It's all about money. It's all about committees. It's all about power. It's all about stealing. It's all about leverage. They signed up onto it. So I didn't expect the Supreme Court. So this idea that, a budget that happens to be a law that was violated by all three branches of government, you're going to resuscitate that particular argument to bring it back for litigation. I don't know how you are going to achieve that. For me, I think it's some kind of a wishful thinking because the Supreme Court cannot be exempted if you categorize the budget as being illegitimate or illegal because it passed on an illegal speaker. No, I don't know. Then they are all guilty of the same crime out of it because everybody got their marching orders from that budget and it was there for debate, but unfortunately it passed. So the president signed it into law. We cannot reverse that. It will be it will be a tough thing to do. I don't see
so that means more you are saying that in our simpler form, or maybe in our layman way of understanding things, you are saying that let back on be back on. Let's forget about everything, all of the agreements maybe that have been signed on the quote unquote by them, the majority blood speaker who now is the real speaker now for Liberia. So that means we should just let everything go because the ambassador is saying that no, all of the things that happened on their watch, but then all was illegal. But now, since we have a new leadership now, we should be able to investigate. But you are not saying that we should let it go. Let back on be back on that we did with the TRC. We say, okay, let's forgive the people. Let not prosecute people. Your leader.
No, it's not about prosecuting people. It's all about the possibility that you prosecuting them. It's not about being bargained. Yeah, it's just the logic of the argument. And one of the reasons people had a dissenting view in the Supreme Court ruling because the first time when the Supreme Court altered virus. Altered virus means you acted outside of the scope of your duty or the legal requirement. But then she came back and said, no, your decision was illegal. No, that's a contradiction because when you tell me that I extended I went beyond my limit, you are telling me that I'm legal, but there was certain things I wasn't supposed to do and I did it. That's one thing. But when you say everything that came from honor me was illegal, there is a whole different explanation. So it means you have almost like two outcomes in the simple Supreme Court case. That's why some of us say, if that is the case, then everything that happens under the speaker, including the budget, is supposed to be illegal. But no, the Supreme Court stays silent on the budget side. Because like I said, the budget is the biggest instrument in the whole bureaucracy. Everybody's attached to that budget. They will not let their perks and their benefit to be put on hold. And it was the perfect timing. We said it on Sktv that it was the biggest leverage that we had to put this guy under the microscope so that they would come up with a peaceful solution or some kind of a solution in the House rather than wasting our time at the Supreme Court. But still, people wanted a Supreme Court intervention and look where we are. We cannot reverse the budget. The budget already, people are spending. Spending is already happening. The budget revenue is already happening. How can you say you want to really litigate the budget and how are you going to do everything? So it means you're going to take, even the Supreme Court going to be held accountable as well. And after the Supreme Court, then who do we go to for constitutional matter? Ministry of Information? It's going to be hard, my brother. It's almost impossible.
Well, let me come back to the ambassador to you with this question. Today, we also witnessed the lifting of bans or maybe suspensions that were placed on some of the lawmakers, and I guess you also follow. So, if you are saying that maybe some of the things that were done was illegal, and today we also saw that the plenary also voted to lift some of the ban or in fact restrictions, salaries, and so forth that were placed on hold by quote unquote the majority bloc by them, and all the things have been lifted. What say you?
For me, I can say they were lifted because nobody put them on sanction. Nobody bound them in the house. An illegal speaker cannot bound somebody or can suspend. Everything that was done, removing people from their positions and wherever, from their committees, it was all illegal. I think that was part of their negotiation, part of the discussions that they were having all this time, these few days. And as Fonati Kopa said, he said that was part of their discussion and their negotiation that those guys whose salaries are being held, down and whose benefits have not been given should be released. The executive has the power to do some other things when it comes to the issue of releasing, of paying. The payment is done through the foreign finance ministry. The executive branch is tied to the whole process of releasing finances to the entire governance structure of different areas. So part of that, the executive branch, that's why we said they actually play a role in this process because they were the main force behind this majority bloc. Understand? Because They didn't have any right to hold anybody benefits. Nobody was suspended. And Honorable Yaga Kulba said that from the inside, I am not suspended because an illegal person cannot suspend you. So I think it was just a bluff, it was just a fun that they had today talking about lifting up bounds and other things. That was a pure fun, like playing fun of the Liberian people. I think everything they did was wrong, and everybody have gone back to status quo based on the Supreme Court decision ruling. And also, and that's what I know. So letting other bounds for me, I don't see it to be anything. I don't give relevance to that. Yeah.
All right, good. Mo, what say you quickly before we go to the next question? Maybe you want to chip in on that also, lifting of the suspensions on some lawmakers today, including maybe all of their salaries and incentives and other benefits.
Don't think we get political maneuvering. Those people will get their benefit and their salaries or their extra incentive. That gets some of the political manipulation we're talking about. It's all about power. It's all about money. It's all about putting people on committee. And the one argument that the majority bloc made that in the case that we have a majority, the majority becomes the plenary. And who's the plenary? The higher decision-making body in the House. So that's why the Supreme Court came out to say, oh, your action or your decision were ultra-virus. At the end of the day, my brother, I don't see any possible way that maybe, I don't know, even if you were to bring a new administration, how do you go about or reversing the issue of the budget and prosecuting people? I don't see that. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and tell you that people could be prosecuted. The one thing that I know, once the dust has settled on the whole leadership crisis, I know those that were suspended, whether legally or illegally, I know that at the end of the day, there will be some kind of a negotiation to give their back pay or their salaries or any extra incentive that they were due. But the whole idea that you're going to prosecute people for something that already been settled finally, I don't know. It will be a good thing if they can find a way, but I don't see it.
All right, good morning. Thank you to the ambassador and all of you. With the question also that I want to ask the two of you, especially when it comes to the moving forward. Now we are moving forward. People will say, okay, yes, let's be back on, let's move forward as a country because now we have a new leadership. What kind of leadership are we expecting, especially coming from the lower house? Are we expecting that robust leadership, or are we expecting so say one, so say all? Ambassador, what kind of leadership are we expecting? That kind of a check and balance, or just let's sing the same song and move together?
So,
is the kind of leadership that we are expecting?
Lebon, thank you. You know, there is nothing you're going to see different. There is nothing different we're going to see. So Richard Nabekun is not a leader. He's not somebody who you can rely on. The house is going to be more polluted. There's going to be more problems in the house. The first responsibility of Richard Kuhn is to reconcile the house. And I bet you he can never do that. He can never do that. He doesn't have the ability to reconcile the house. He's not a leader. Because a leader should be a reconciler, somebody who brings people together, try to fix things. He's not ready. Just today, he has given some positions or committee members, all these things. Everything was given to the majority bloc. Are you ready to reconcile the house? You're not ready. So a leader who is ready to divide the house, that leader will not sleep easily. Because the rule of law caucus is coming back. They are coming back. In the next 1 week or 2 weeks, get ready, that house will be hot. In fact, the one that passed is the smallest one. The one that coming happy, the hottest house, the one that will be, this is the current one. Because Richard Kuhn would not be taken seriously. He will not be taken seriously. He has a stigma on him. Somebody who broke laws and came to power. He's just like the president of Burkina Faso. You don't like him, but and for him, it's different. The Burkina Faso president is different. He's doing well for his people. But, you know, I'm just comparing him, the kind of president he is, coming to power with that kind of stigma, and then you think that you will be a good leader in the house. The first thing is to reconcile the house. And he does not have that kind of strength, that ability. We don't see it in him. He's not a reconciler. If he was a reconciler, all of the t-shirts he printed today, he would have given some of the t-shirts to the minority bloc. He said, guys, let us wear the t-shirt we have together. The law is the law. But if you watch the video today, you see the photograph, you see that only the majority bloc wore the t-shirts. Who are you? Are you a leader or a dictator?
Great. Ambassador, you are saying something, but let me go back to Monk with the follow-up question. Monk, the ambassador is saying, if I say something so interesting though, if you follow, because even if you are speaker or maybe newly elected speaker or maybe lawmaker or as you may call it, until you are giving things out like positions and also distributing shites and caps, but you are picking and choosing. Monk, what say you? Because I think this is becoming interesting though.
Well, maybe the condition that they set for speakers in like brother got their own standards in the house. Because I know anywhere before they make someone to be a speaker, before your colleagues can tell you, "Man, we want you to be the head for our group," because a speaker is just the first among equal. A matter of fact, his own colleagues are the one that make him speaker. They look at certain attributes. You got to be a people's person. You got to have good rapport. You got to be able to crack deals. That's why it is. But if you are saying that Richard Kuhn doesn't possess any other characteristic, then he will enter the fanatic cover. That's why I keep saying you can take your virtual lap for now, but I know this particular issue, it will resurface because whether the people that in the minority group, the rule of law caucus, or even some people within his own caucus, there will be an issue wherein they will disagree with him. And this event has a high probability of repeating itself. So if Richard Kuhn would tell me that he doesn't also have a negotiation skill or negotiating skill, then more than likely he will be the next Fanatic Kofa in the not too distant future. That's just why it is. Because it was why Fanatic Kofa couldn't show us that even though he needed that number, but the how they call it, the Facebook constitutional lawyers and all the people would say, Mr. Kofa, just go and hustle 7. Once we get that magic number, we could care less about where that majority black, which hotel, the lady can go to Dubai. We don't care. Because we know once you have that legitimate number to conduct government business, we don't need all the lawmakers on your gavel. They can go as far as they want. But he couldn't do it. For 7 months, not a single person was able to break away from the majority black. So if he's telling me that Richard Kuhn is either worse than Fanatic Kofa or in the same boat as Fanatic Kofa, then pretty soon we must see another horse impasse. Because they say why it's good for the geese, it's also good for the gander, right?
Yes, indeed, Mark. And in fact, let me join the two of you and say this. Actually, I'm very confused to what the ambassador just said. And in fact, you are quite correct. We follow all of the photos, we follow all of the happening there from the legislature on today, especially when it comes to that shites and caps. I think that's the wrong. Even the distribution of committees and so forth, I think that was also wrong. I think on the part of the elected speaker, I think the best thing to do was, even if you have 9 committees, like for example, maybe 9 major committees, I think either 6 should be maybe with majority, just in case if you want to please your team, then 3 come from minority. But you just give all of the committees to your team. But again, this question, ambassador, to you and maybe the speaker now thinking that as long now he's regime speaker, because he said that openly that in fact he regime speaker and they had the money. So no matter what, easily leave from his side. What say you before Monk?
Like Monk said, just give it a short time, give it some time and see what's going to happen. Richard Kuhn coming to power to becoming a speaker is not a big news. It's not a big thing. A lot of people are not satisfied. In fact, the entire country is not satisfied. If you watch some of the posts from Honorable Fanatic Kofa live interview, many people congratulated him. Almost all Liberians, they are telling him thank you. And watch me, in a few days or a few weeks' time, Fanatic Kofa will be awarded. He will be awarded. And the award he's going to be having is going to be big because of the precedent that he has set. He set a very good precedent that we, the young people, will follow. Even our children who are coming, that they will follow the rule of law. That whenever there are issues that matters to the people, that we will take it seriously and don't just do it politically. So Richard Kuhn is not a leader, as I said. The House is going to have serious issues. Yaka Koluba, let me just call a few names, is not going to easily join him. Even if they become friends for 1 or 2 days, these guys are still going to go after him. The rule of law caucus is still there. This group of lawmakers stand in favor of the Constitution and the people of this country. And so Richard Nawiku has to work harder to win the hearts of his colleagues and to win the hearts of the Liberian people, because he has brought serious trouble to this nation to the extent where our Capitol building burned down just because of him, who wants to remove somebody illegally because he has the backing of the executive. So I think that his leadership will not be a prosperous one. He's going to struggle with this leadership in the House. He's going to spend so much money to satisfy his colleagues, because by the time he wants to pass something through, his colleagues will do everything to strangulate him. And he's going to be spending millions and thousands of dollars because he has the backing of the executive branch. But that will not help him. Once the people's hearts are not with you, your leadership will be very poor. You will not deliver well. So that's exactly how it's going to be. So I don't see him doing well in his tenure or whatever time he's going to spend, whether 3 weeks. Maybe he might serve for 3 months as a speaker, or he might serve as a speaker for just 6 months. You can never tell. But I can see that this issue is not resolved because everything that was done was illegal, and he came on board with that kind of stigma that every child that sees him on the street, everyone that sees Richard Nawiku will see him as a lawbreaker. Then I would just ask the government to release all of those that are in prison, because those who are in prison, you hold them in prison because you feel that they committed crimes. So when people commit crimes, when the poor people commit crimes, you prosecute them and send them to prison. But when the government officials commit crimes, when the big people who in government commit crimes, you let them go. And you think that only the poor people are supposed to suffer? Only the poor people are supposed to account? If this was a poor man who have done this against Liberia, or who have broken the Constitution, or who have done some illegal things, by this time, that poor man's son is in South Beach. So why would we keep poor people in prison and you have lawmakers breaking laws and they are passing with the most expensive cars around town? I think it's not fair, and we are calling on the government to look into this. If not, the rule of law caucus should do a petition or should write something on the floor, and so that this issue can be brought down. And we can start from there. Thank you, Mom. I think we can pick up from there.
Well, we see. I don't know. The only thing we're going to be watching on his speakership, what's going to happen. I know there will be instances where there will be disagreement, and then the leadership skills will be put to a test, because it's not only about control, it's not only about assuming the speakership, it's all about being able to navigate when this kind of a situation arises. And we saw it on Fanatic Kofa, the outcome never came out right. So who knows? I know there will be people with bad blood that will walk out of this whole process. But this whole concept that we'll be walking on the street, because the last time I checked, we had a constitutional democracy, a representative form of government. If you got 43 lawmakers that will break ranks with the speaker and go on the gavel of Richard Cohn, then I don't think it, because my expectation is, if you are a lawmaker, you are representing your district. So if 43 districts going to support Richard Cohn, then I cannot make the case that he's going to be so unpopular all over the country. Matter of fact, the Nima County election was a litmus test to that particular theory. Because if the Liberian people, like I said, if they were really against the whole idea about Fanatic Kofa being removed, we have seen the outcome from Nima County. But look at the guy who, one of the major architects in this whole move, he went in some white gown today with a head all tied and people walking behind him. So I'm not going to buy that. But the one thing that I know, his leadership will be tested, and I cannot project how he's going to perform under pressure. But if the same thing happens and he cannot display that leadership, like bringing people together and forming a rapport with the other lawmakers, then more than likely this same thing will surface, the resurface. And that's why I would say on this show, it's not the end of the world for the rule of law caucus, because I know there will be issues that will happen in the future. But then we'll see how he's going to handle it. That's all I can say for now. But we see they can take that victory lap. But I know a precedent has been set, and I just hope if the pendulum swing or if the points flip, he should also be able to be on the side of the law, because the teacher, the law is the law. You can interpret it so many different ways. I just hope he should stand with that. When the time comes, he should say the law is also the law. That's it.
That's it.
Great, Mark. In fact, let me say thanks to two of you. I think I was listening to you and you were talking about testing of his strength, especially when it comes to whether he will be loved by his people or not.
Maybe I think getting
So
feedback. I don't know.
yeah, I think it's K, the ambassador. So we got to mute him. Yeah. So when it comes to what are the is people or the people going to pay some respect to him, I think that's going to happen because from what I saw today at the Capitol building, speak volume that indeed he will actually be cheered by some people. Mind you, though, this is like Bill Lamont said. Some people will be there. They will see like it's a politics, it's a party business because they for either they for the rescuers or the
Oh, yeah.
facility or whosoever party. So today we saw that more. So I just want to say this to you that you're right because people don't care anymore about the law. They don't care anymore about the good thing. All they want to see is that their party should just win. That's it. I said, whether it is the right thing to do or not, Monk. So I just join you in that.
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
likely, yeah. That's why I
and
told
that
you. I
just
said I learned something doing the impeachment trial here. I listened to one of the top lawyers in this country, Harvard Emeritus Law Professor Alan Dershowitz. He said the law is static and politics is dynamic. You can never tell what will happen. That's why whenever there is a crisis, it's also an opportunity for you to make amendment to law. Because there are things in the Constitution that the Constitution was never prepared to even say face, or there were things that will happen, or there are things that could happen that could potentially happen in the future that that the Constitution cannot provide solution for. But guess what? In this country, anytime there is a major crisis where there is a constitutional crisis between politics and the law, they will come up with certain laws or certain bill or certain amendment to make sure they can address that moving into the future. And from the Supreme Court ruling, the one thing that I heard the Chief Justice saying that the remedy for this whole thing about forcing the other group of lawmakers to come under your gavel, I just hope they can find a solution. But you know what? They will never address that. And you know the reason they will never address that? Because they will keep weaponizing that provision for future because they know it's all about power. That's why I'm saying, maybe when you're a speaker, it's not your ability to get carried the title. It's about navigating when problem arises. That's when your speakership can be put to a test. So I know they will test Richard Nangwe-Kun. I don't know the exact time, but I know 100% I can place a bet on SKTV that Richard Kun speakership will be tested. I don't know, but I know it will be tested. And we'll see how he will respond.
indeed, thank you, Mark, to you and the ambassador. We have a minute up to 7, and Ayesha, we're going to go for the news break and we'll come back. We're going to continue with the SKTV show up to 8 o'clock, but between 7:15 to 7:30, we're going to talk a little bit. Then at 7:30, we'll go straight to the line to interact with our people as to what next after all of the 7 months of Holly and Puri. As people will say, but finally today, the lower house was able to have their speaker, and the speaker also, sometimes there are things happen. Like the ambassador was saying that the speaker, he just got elected today. You started to appoint committees. You don't even think about even at least appointing 1 or 2% from the minority bloc. So it's like, in fact, they are still into war for me, from what I'm seeing, because from the exact what the ambassador just stated, that don't speak for them that indeed this the entire thing still far from ending, and we may likely see the monk also say that indeed you will be tested. So we're watching the process to see what's going to happen next. So folks, if you're just joining us, indeed this is the SKTV show. We are about to go for the news break, and trust us, when we come back, we're going to continue with the show this evening, and also activate the line so that you can also be part of the show this evening. So if you're there, we are right here. We're going to be with you up to 8 o'clock on tonight. So Mark, we're going for the news break.
Exactly. You have Good evening, RCR News Bulletin at 7. And Akita Roberts presenting. Following over 7 months of legal and political battles, members of the House of Representatives have elected Representative Richard Cohn as Speaker. Police Inspector General Gregory Corman has taken significant steps to address the concerns of commercial drivers following their nationwide go-slow action on Monday. The president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Lady Mapian, has stressed the need for Liberians to cultivate the spirit of national healing in building a safer and inclusive nation for all. Out of Liberia, Zimbabwe's foreign minister has warned diplomats against interfering in the country's affairs days after the U.S. ambassador raised concerns about the systemic theft of drugs donated to the Southern African states. Those were headlines. Now the news in detail. Following over 7 months of legal and political battles, members of the House of Representatives have elected Representative Richard Cohn as Speaker. As Representative Cohn was voted by 43 of the 69 members in section on Tuesday, while his rival Representative Musa Belete received 26 votes. Cohn's election brings an end to the long-standing leadership crisis in the House of Representatives. Following his induction by Deputy House Speaker Thomas Farr on Tuesday, Speaker Cohn made his first committee appointments. He named Representative James Fuller as Chair on Rules, Order and Administration, Representative P. Mark Dre, Chairman on Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, Representative Sekou Kanen, Chair on Executive, Representative Emmanuel Dan, Co-Chair on Executive, and Representative Nika Gay, Chairman, Committee on Foreign Affairs, among others. Meanwhile, in his immediate reaction after the speakership election, Representative Musa Belete accepted he lost an election, but noted that democracy has been restored to the House of Representatives. The Nemba County District 7 representative in a Facebook post said the holding of new election for Speaker is a win for Liberia and the rule of law. In another development, the plenary of the House of Representatives has lifted the suspensions of 16 members who were banned for 30 section days. The decision was reached on Tuesday, May 13, during the first sitting of the second quarter of the second section. Among the reinstated lawmakers are Edward Flomo, Abu Kamara, Marvin Cole, Frank Safoko, Eugene Cully, Zem Norman, Alex Noah, and Maka Kamara. Others include Jerry Yeke Koluba, Dixie Debo, Musa Belete, Samuel Ennis, Thomas Joshua, Jacob Debbie, and Luther Collins. According to the House Press Bureau, prior to the latest decision on March 20, 2025, the House Representatives had already lifted the suspension of Representative Abu Kamara after he complied with the terms set by the plenary. The Press Bureau recorded that their suspensions had been tied to allegations of misconduct, absenteeism, and political disputes. Police Inspector General Gregory Corman has taken significant steps to address the concerns of commercial drivers following their nationwide go-slow action on Monday to alleviate some of the financial burdens mentioned by the commercial drivers. Police Inspector Gregory Corbin assured drivers that no officer will issue violation tickets that exceed $20. Additionally, the Inspector General committed to reducing the number of security checkpoints, especially during night hours, as a proactive measure to enhance traffic flow and reduce delays. RG Coburn believes that the steps will lead to improved efficiency and commercial transport operators and a better experience for the traveling public. He noted that the measures, when achieved, will further restore trust and cooperation between the police and commercial drivers, contributing to more organized and effective transportation system in Liberia. On Monday, May 12, 2025, commercial drivers across Liberia staged a go-slow action that affected the movement of vehicles in Limba, Bombay, and other parts of the country. The drivers in their quest accused traffic police of imposing excessive fines for major traffic violations in the tune of $125 to $150 for violating traffic rules that cost 25 as penalty fees. The Monday go-slow action deprived several Liberians of traveling in time to their destinations. The president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Lima Pine, has stressed the need for Liberians to cultivate the spirit of national healing in building a safer and inclusive nation for all. According to Dr. Mapine, national safety entails creating an environment where everyone, regardless of ethnicity, gender, or background, can thrive without fear. Speaking at a program marking the 61st commemoration of National Unification Day, organized by the Kofi Annan Institute for Conflict Transformation in collaboration with the Civil Peace Service, the UL president emphasized that genuine peace extends beyond the absence of conflict, but it is also determined by the level of equal opportunity, inclusiveness, and mutual respect for all. Meanwhile, providing an overview of the program, the director of the Kofi Annan Institute of Conflict Transformation, Professor Debbie Sadi, noted that the occasion brings together students, youths, CSOs, state actors, and MSAs to sharing their perspective on the true essence of national unification. For her part, ECOWAS Ambassador to Liberia, Josephine Nkrumah, acknowledge youth to serve as ambassador of unity in fostering national unification. According to Madame Nkrumah, the pursuit of unity and peace is a continuous process which should be a way of life that goes beyond mere words. Orange Liberia has announced an upcoming inauguration of its new infrastructure project Akron 16 scheduled for Thursday in Monrovia. The event aims to showcase the company's commitment to enhancing telecommunications and connectivity in Liberia. With a focus on improving services and building a robust digital framework, Orange Liberia's initiative is expected to contribute significantly to the country's socio-economic development. Orange Chief Executive Officer Jean Marius Yao emphasized that Orange 16 symbolizes a bold statement that Liberia deserves and can host infrastructure of the highest international standards. According to him, the Akron 16 will reflect an unwavering commitment to being a long-term partner in Liberia's development, emphasizing that this infrastructure project aligns with Orange Liberia's vision for a broader ambitions of the Orange Group across Africa. At the same time, the CEO emphasized that Akron 16 enables a new way of working by bringing together over 400 employees under one roof. He stated that Akron 16 becomes more than just a workplace, stating that this new environment will foster deeper collaboration that enhances internal synergies and allows them to serve customers more effective and efficiently. He highlighted that Orange Liberia is among the top 3 taxpayers in the country, having paid 291 million in taxes and fees. The criminal case between 2 students of the Stella Maris University has surfaced before the Supreme Court with a mandate from the presiding justice in chamber to stop all legal proceedings on the matter at the Monrovia City Court. Associate Justice Tianen Clinton Johnston actions, according to RCR judicial correspondent, was triggered by a petition for a rate of certiorari filed by lawyers representing defendant Kenneth Wilson with the objective of overturning Judge Roosevelt Willie's May 6, 2025 decision when he notifies Magistrate Benz Barker's ruling for the admissibility of victim Jumel Castle's video evidence. However, Justice Clinton Johnson has mandated the parties' lawyers to appear before Hall on May 20th, 2025 for a legal conference in connection to defense lawyers' request to the court. Our judicial correspondent said the intent of the presiding justice in chambers legal meeting is to hear from the respondent lawyers before any decision whether to issue the alternative rates of certiorari or decline as provided by Chapter 16, Section 16.22 of the Criminal Justice Civil Procedural Law of Liberia. Defense lawyers' requests to the High Court, among other things, accused Judge Roosevelt Willie of committing unreversible error when he modified Magistrate Benz Barker's ruling for the admissibility of a video evidence which the private prosecutor strongly relies on to build her case against their client. Though the evidence in question showed defendant Kenneth Wilson assaulting Jumel Cassell on March 31st, 2025 at the Stella Maris University, but defense lawyers are questioning the authenticity of the video on ground that it was obtained illegally by the victim and her mother. They also accuse the victim and her mother of posting live video on social media contrary to the claims that it was done by defendant Kenneth Wilson on March 31st, 2025. The Tottenham National Institute of Medical Art, TNRMA, has launched 3 new health programs, including nurse anesthesia, perioperative, technical, and radiographic that's aimed to address the growing demand for skilled medical practitioners. The launch of the new programs is part of efforts to reduce maternal and newborn mortality in Liberia. The launch ceremony was held on Tuesday at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center and brought together senior government officials, international partners, healthcare leaders, and members of the public. Dr. Adam Khan, senior advisor and head for projects in the office of the First Lady, served as the chief launcher and said this is not just a building, but a declaration, a national promise that no mother should die while giving birth. Dr. Khan stressed that programs are part of a national effort to close the healthcare gap by developing a robust and well-trained workforce. Out of Liberia now, that Zambia's foreign minister has warned diplomats against interfering in the country's affairs days after the U.S. ambassador raised concerns about the systemic theft of drugs donated to the Southern African state. Mulabo Habib said there was an increasing tendency by envoys to ignore diplomatic channels and this could undermine the spirit of mutual respect. He did not name anyone, but his comments were seen as being directed at the U.S. ambassador to Lusaka, Michael Zozel. Last week, Zozel called a press conference to announce that the U.S. was cutting $50 million of health aid to Zambia because of the theft of life-saving medication that the U.S. has provided for patients. He added that he had decided to go public after holding more than 30 fruitless meetings with senior Zambian officials. In his response, having said that addressing the government through the media amounted to interference and was in breach of diplomatic conventions. To end this newscast, the recap of the top stories we have been following. Following over 7 months of legal and political battles, members of the House of Representatives have elected Representative Rachel Cohn as Speaker. Police Inspector General Gregory Comer has taken significant steps to address the concerns of commercial drivers following their nationwide go-slow action on Monday. The president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Lady Mapayan, has stressed the need for Liberians to cultivate the spirit of national healing in building a safer and inclusive nation for all. Out of Liberia, Zambia's foreign minister has warned diplomats against interfering in the country's affairs days after the U.S. ambassador raised concerns about the systemic theft of drugs donated to the Southern African states. As RCR News Bulletin at 7, I've been Akisa Roberts presenting.
Why you crying? Why you crying? Why you crying? Why? Why are you crying? Yes, because why you crying? Why you crying? Why you crying? Why? Why are you crying? Yes, because why you crying? Why you crying? Why you crying? Why are you crying? Yes, because why you crying? Why you crying? Why you crying? Why?
So brilliant, like Mom was talking about. Mom, that's just it.
I don't want to pay actors because I don't know what she's happy about.
but even Monk behind that lady, if you also watch the same behind that lady, you will see some people jubilating like, how like, wow, what more we talking to people in the control. I'm talking to people we put to admit we just talking to people, but we're back after the news bulletin. Thanks to all of you for holding on at least. So we will play that video again for the second time. But quickly, Ambassador, I want to say welcome back after the news break.
Thank you.
Great. So let me go back to that video because Mo was saying something, and for true, this is what Mo was talking about. That some people were jubilating, they were celebrating, and some even charity.
Why you crying? Why you crying? Why you crying? Why? Why are you crying? Yes, because
She's crying even during the time of jail for Antikova. Other people cry, people celebrate. Every time LeBron will cry. Monk, what say you?
Well, that's why it is. Even on election, they don't even pay attention to the candidate. They just go and dance out there. Some people cry, some people dancing. At the end of the day, they make choices. It's why I don't know what she's happy about. I don't know what's going to change. I mean, after 7 months, I will be mad as hell that you got an entire body that cannot push the country's agenda. All the people, the regular people who are struggling in that country every day, people that are selling that cannot even make profit for the children. They're literally selling for Lebanese and other national that run the business community. I don't know why they are celebrating if I don't know they're jubilating about, because at the end of the day, can you imagine after putting the country through all this credit, there were people that walk away with some huge payday. Trust me, money change hands. And you're looking at people who are making things tough for the country. They are getting paid. their salary, you cannot even come closer. You will work for maybe the next 10 years of your life, and you cannot even say taking home 1 month of their compensation, because the average civil servant I'm looking at like $150, and some of the lawmakers looking at their staff for salary, the incentive, you're looking at anywhere between $15,000 to $16,000, and you are there celebrating what? Tell me the win today for Liberia about this whole outcome. The entire process, the fact that you could spend 6 months to 7 months of the country's time just became, for the sake of leadership position in the house, that alone is a loser. So I don't know. There is nothing there to celebrate. In spite of the outcome, there is nothing there to celebrate. That's all I can say, my brother, but that's Liberia.
Great. Ambassador, your people are celebrating, and at the same time, they are, I don't know, it's tears of joy or what? what? The country is just in as well.
The people crying. No. Now, so this video, right, when the video was playing, I was like, you know, I felt somehow actually, you know, I feel the thing our people are going through, especially for the past 7 months, to see the entire country held hostage by a few group of people in the country, you know, criminally holding the country down. I think it's about time that Richard Nabekun sit down tonight. If I were Richard Nabekun, I will sit down tonight, watch this video very well, and see the reaction of the people. This video alone calls for reconciliation. If you watch this video as a good leader, the first thing that comes to your mind is these people have been waiting for this. These people have been yearning for this. So since we have gotten to this point, let me wake up now as a speaker to place a call to Honorable Kofa, the former speaker, to place a call to all the other people, the nobility and everyone, and even call them to a launch to just have a little time together. No, please come. I want to see. Let's just sit down and talk. This video is about, you need to watch this video to be able to just feel the pain on how the people have been feeling about the way the country has been going. So it is now time that Richard Nabekun stand up, wake up tonight, sit down, watch all of these moments, these videos, and place a call to Honorable Fanatic Kofa and say, oh my brother, we have gone through this. Wherever we fall short, personally, not to Liberia, but to you, I'm sorry. Let's move on. You know, get to the minority block. But if it doesn't do that, there's going to be issues. The people are jubilating because they think that the issues have been resolved. But in the minds of Richard Nabekun and the United Party government, they are not ready to work with the minority bloc. And they're not ready to work with any other person who will not work, who will not dance to their tune, their corrupt tune. And this is why the house will be like something else. So Richard Kun, the boy, is in your court tonight. You need to wake up now and place a call. You need to wake up now and call that reconciliatory meeting where you can reconcile the guys apart from the normal house, the normal house session. He needs to call the guys, the minority class. From today, let's forget about majority and minority. Nobody is called minority. Let's see ourselves as one body, so that we can push Liberia's interest. And that's exactly what everybody is expecting, including me. But I don't think it's going to happen. I'm hoping that it happens, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Great. I have a question for two of you, but let me just say it quickly, then we'll ask the two of you this question. But I think from 2005 up to now, I've been seeing our people crying whenever there is election results. So for me, my question would be like, do these politicians really care about the cry of our people, or they just see us just mere bluff and say, no, I think these people, maybe they are overplus happy? Because if so, Mon just said something that in the 7 months, in fact, even budget has been passed, and all even within the 7 months, nothing was added to them. Those of them who are making 150 USD as salary, even though we will take one of our time to even discuss this salary issue, but 150 USD per month for almost like 31 days. And you have to go to work, you got to, in fact, you need transport and so forth. But today they are jubilating and they are celebrating. So my follow-up question to you and Mo is that, do the politicians really care about the crowd of our people, or they just want to, sometimes they see this thing as just mere bluff because you're requesting that you should go back into a drawing board and be able to come out and maybe reconcile and put things to place. What do the people really care? Punk.
Well, maybe I think we've been saying this on the show forever. Why would the politicians decide to change the way how they do business when the people themselves they are accomplices? Maybe if you are a politician, will you be incentivized to change the way how you do business when the people there they support every bar and illegal things or whatsoever you might call it? That's just what Liberian politics is. They must first pick a side, and no matter what the outcome, whether the countries they want to become the victim in the end, they could care less. Once their president wins, that's just what it is. Because for me, the reason I took the position that I took in this whole horse impasse, the moment I got to know the underlying problem in that particular impasse, I knew it was never about law. And the one thing that I know when it comes to the Constitution is the fact that there are things that may be inappropriate, but inappropriation is not the same as illegal. That one thing that I know. You may not like the way how people would do things, but that doesn't make it illegal. The people can say, just because you are good, it means bad things won't happen to you in life. That's just how life is. You could be good or bad and still bad things will sometimes happen to you. But look at our people. Look at Nima County. That's why I said. That's why I followed Nima County election, the by-election religiously. Because if there was any blowback, Nima County, now don't forget, it's the second largest county in terms of the population size in the country. Look at the way how the people voted. So a guy like Kogana in his Arab suit or a Arab gun or walking into the Senate today, why make you think Koga will want to go over there to do something differently? If the way how the people voted, the margin of vote that Koga won with, it was almost a little above the presidential election. Can you imagine in a single county, he won by more than 22,000 votes or Melbourne? Can you imagine that? So you would think that if the Liberian people were against the whole thing, the outcome from Nima County will have sent or singled to the rest of the country that we are against it. But look at how the people voted. I said, my brother, don't waste your time. These people, that's just how they operate. And these politicians, they will keep doing the thing over and over. The one thing I can tell you, like I said, I will sound like a broken record. Rachel Kuhn, you can take your victory lap, but all is not done and all is not well. At the end of the day, your leadership will be tested. So it's not about if this problem will arise again in the future, we just will see how you are going to handle it. For Nantikova, maybe we'll say in the short term, he was a loser. He never did some of his ground. Well, but at the end of the day, life goes on. He will still remain former speaker, but we will see how you will handle this job. Whether you get a reconciliation skill, whether you get a negotiation skill, whether you are a people's president to bring people together, we will see over time. But the boy is in his court. And from the voter side, they are the problem. That's why I don't blame politicians. Because when you send a message, maybe I think you were here when we talk. I think you, Sekou, myself, we talk about the significance of the Kenyan protest. Almost 3 days on this platform. The one thing that I use the protest in Kenya as a reference point, the people that took to the streets, they were the one that voted for the president, people. I have never seen in any African country. Another thing I was opposite to say, oh, the people do not because of politics. No, the young people that placed their bet on, or how they call it, Roland Ruto, they were the one that took the streets. No, bro, you lied to us during the campaign that you are going to make sure that the commodity price and some of the things that we consume on a daily basis, you are going to subsidize them to make sure the prices are reduced. But guess what? You increase prices on all. You think that can happen in Liberia? That Unity Party people will take to the street to protest against Joseph Boga because he did the wrong thing? That would never happen in my lifetime. So why should the politician do otherwise? My brother.
Ambassador, to you, will the politician change the way they do things because seeing our people who quote unquote they make below the belt around 150 USD per month, they are the ones that are putting money today. All the lawmakers, some of them, maybe they were, in fact, while they were on that voting process, they were also receiving at least 1 or 2 things. Well, our people were celebrating them today.
Yeah. Lebon, are you hearing me?
Yes, we're getting you. So what's saying you when it comes to that?
The politicians are not in the interest of the people. Everything they are doing is in their own interest. This is something that is glaring, that is clear to everyone, every citizen of this country knows. But because of poverty, the people go out there to still vote for them. Because of poverty, the high rate of poverty in our country, when the lawmaker comes, who is so wicked, but when it comes to rice, we come with small money, the people are hungry. And this is the reason why they will take the rice, they will take that money to vote these people into power. But part of the people, majority of the people we vote in power are not good, and they are not in the interest of the people. Only a few of them are in the interest of the people. I hail from Grandview County. And you just understand that Apart from Honorable J. Fonati Kofa from Grand Creek County, there is no other lawmaker here apart from Grand Creek County. You know, I'm just using my county as an example. Grand Creek County lawmakers are dead lawmakers. The only lawmaker from Grand Creek County who is known is J. Fonati Kofa, and we are on the show. If I ask them, even me one representative, it will be difficult because these people are not in the interest of the people. So they don't even want to be in the media. They don't even want to be known. They only need that position and they come to Moravia, they leave that village, come to Moravia and make a whole lot of money and forget about the poor people in the bush. So the lawmakers are not in the people's interest, including the presidents that we elect, everyone, government, all of the governments will bring the power. And this is the reason why in 2029, we want to provide an alternative. This is why we want to come on board to see how we get bring people the best platform where they can see transparency, where they can see good governance, where they can be able to know that, yes, we have a leadership that represents the people interest. So we just want to say that the lawmakers currently, the leadership is currently the interest of the people. The people are suffering and they are crying. But because of hunger and poverty, they will still go behind these politicians because of the $5 they will give them.
Quickly, so before we go to the line, I want two of you could 1 minute with the entire thing now. Can we now say is it about time for the opposition unity, or they should continue to be the way they are? Because if you are observing the political scene right now, the Unity Party, the rescuers, they are not regrouping. So what say you when it comes to the opposition?
Well, I'm going to yield my time to Sis Ya because she called before you open the lines. I will just let her to use the next couple of minutes, and then maybe we will circumvent to that question when we're done with the other callers. But Sis Ya is on the line. I want her to chime in real quick. I mean, what she observed during the whole process. So Sis Ya, you are live. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Cyrus, for your time to me. I think I'm in agreement with you, almost 95%. But let me ask all of us, what would be the incentive for me to fight and continue to fight for you when you celebrate the very people who continue to enslave you and your children? What would be, we're talking about opposition. If opposition knows the fight for you and you're going to go against them, why would they give everything that they have? There are very few people that would do that. It would be based on either their judicial person or they believe in what they believe in, and they can live without the government job, okay? But look at what people had against me. I just saw where you're playing. I'm in class, okay? Everything that we went against with CDC yesterday. Another thing is, Cyrus, like you talk about the politics. How do you give the same person who brought up about taking our lawmaker and breaking the law and bring them in to be the negotiator of the same thing that they invented? But I'm going to start here. So it has to do with people. Until the people can wake up and stand up. Maybe I just spoke to where they most of the people, their pay is not increased, but generator get 3,000, 2,000, okay? People have scholarships, 75,000, 7,500 for one person to get scholarship. So I'm going to start here so other people can talk. But until when people wake up, people will not continue to die for you when you're not willing to stand up also for yourself. It's not going to work. Thank you, Cyrus. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cecilia. Yeah, move on.
Indeed, it's right. So let me see how better to go to the line to interact with our people, and seeing David King here already on the line. David King, good evening.
Good evening, Mabel. Let me say good evening to Mo and the ambassador from our own end on the side.
Yeah, go ahead, my dear.
Yeah, Mabel, today what I saw, that was legislative democracy as termed by honorability. I think what we saw today was just a reaffirmation of what these guys have been doing over there. And my question here is, say in fact, couldn't believe that he was speaker. Why then we saw him sitting among ordinary lawmakers? He was not sitting side by side with Thomas Father today, and they were calling roll call. He was answering to his name as representative for district.
David King, all that one already passed. The mayor agree already. That move on, my dear.
So what the way he formed the committee today, like Mo have said, he do not know how it will happen. But Richard Kuhn is not a reconciler. I don't see Richard Kuhn as somebody who will bring people together. But he just recognition of Mr. Bwaka. So we saw Mr. Bwaka just trying to see me. And similarly, he would do the same as the legislature.
All right, thank you so much to this caller. Good evening. Yeah, go ahead, my dear.
And I'm the national I represent calling for yesterday. I was shocked that the lawmaker was going for election. Okay, he allowed somebody that broke the law to come and contest. It's just that it's just like something we were doing, like we came out, he came out by the nobody. And the thing they were doing,
indeed, I like that.
Broke the law, put out for him, speak up. And two, even if while they put out for him today, if you notice that all the committee was on me, he never even included people from the opposition side. So I tell that it's not relevant reconciliation. There will be a serious matter inside there, as you people were saying.
All right. Thank you so much, my dear brother. You break the law, you not break the law, we'll vote for you. That guy interesting. Today's caller going in. Hello. Hello. All right. Maybe the caller not ready yet. Today's other caller. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, but go ahead. Your name and from where you join us. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Yeah, we thank God also what I think taking the builder. That's the country we put ourselves. And we blame ourselves for telling our wrong thing. So you heard us telling you the whole day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll continue to make 150. You're right. Today's caller, good evening. Yes, my dear.
This is Louis, Series System Phone from Bushwa Island. How you guys doing?
Thank you, my dear brother, for joining us. We are okay. Thank God for life.
I got 2 points. My first point has to do with the way our people, the electorates, the voter. You can't cry move. You gotta wait when they cry and then you join them to cry. You can't cry. The mistake you guys made on Sktv is that you highlight the poverty, the challenges in the country too much. And the electorate, they don't like it. When it starts to cry, then you join in. When you guys are crying ahead of them, we got 2029, and you guys have started crying so early ahead of them, things will not be correct. Wait when it starts to cry, then you join in. Secondly, in Liberia, whether you like it or not, never usually say it. If the people acting man is running, what are the acting men suffer them? What are they suffer that 6-year-old, the 9-year for senatorial? Once you are trial man, for example, if you get Jeremiah Coon for the presidency 2029, maybe you'll be shocked. 90% to 80% of the anybody will go behind him. What are they eating? What are the paying school fuel? The father that kings man, that trial man, that acting man running for that, they'll say that one man won the power. They will go beyond that man. Lastly, at the legislature, whether you guys like it, I like the system at the legislature. If Richard Kuhn failed to get the 37, he's out. The legislature don't need court. Court can't handle it. They tell a majority move on Melbourne. You can go or you can down. Melbourne going. That's the situation at the legislature. You got to maintain that block. That's 17. You have a good lead today. 17 different. You need to muster that courage because for the 3, they get a first shot. No case, no court, no nothing. You go. The other people can. You don't need to get a 49. And Melbourne cannot get the quorum. Melbourne is out.
All right. Thank you. But for me, I think only the president can decide. Hello, to this caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
And let me say good evening to all your panelists, especially the men who are warm my admiration on the show. You see, he stands for something, and I love his courage. Derek and others should understand that CDC lack courage, they lack purpose, and they lack mission. You have 2 speakers in your disposal aparte. You carelessly allow them to go away. You want to tell us why Rachel couldn't appoint people on committee? Go and hire your own speaker and appoint people on your committee. Now they crying now, the language has changed. People were saying yesterday, Rachel does not have the number to test the system. He had tested the system, he won for the 3. Previously, I mean, Flanagan won about 30 plus, right? It was not in 40. But Rachel had maintained a 48 and 50 by the resolution. He won with 43. What the argument is about? Let the country move forward. All I can say to them, thank the Fulani Kofa, thank the Rachel Kun because he put a price down. I mean, by the way, the man had a bill or re-argument into court. He left it there and resigned and recontest the system. That we call courage, that we call responsibility, that we call men who want to know his own strength. So the making others, you from the CDC, your lab purpose, your lab mission, and you know the party will be your in development and especially for now 2029. Thank you so much for the show.
All right, Morgan always predict they ought to be the CDC and you're the party business again. Hello to this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Well, we're okay. Thank God for life, my dear. Go ahead.
This is Mapu Sefu, calling in from Congo.
Okay.
I'm so happy that today this has come to a close. But one thing I just want to say, I would like to tell neighbor in the studio there. He's very, very, very objective. He has been the one that has really been holding this particular show on a line of this objectivity show. Because from the beginning, I've been listening to him. Sunday, I don't even want to listen, but I can just listen to him. He will analyze exactly how this entire show or show is been going on. And definitely, so that means if I would be calling him myself, you know. So thank you very much, Mabel. Continue your good work and continue to be objective as you are.
Thank you, my dear brother. To this caller, good evening.
Yeah, Mabel, how you doing, Steve?
My dear brother, they can say what they want to again, my dear, I'm fine. Thank God. Go ahead.
My name is Elizabeth Joy.
Good.
You know, you asked a question now whether the opposition are grouping, they are regrouping too. The problem is that the two CDC people with LPDP and that of MPP and other political parties, they don't eat.
Oh.
So they say, yeah. So the people, they are very, very afraid. But even post again, as I'm telling you, no political party will be brave to even go on a CDC. I'm telling you what I'm telling you today, just market. Because the first social report, even MPP were crying to the form of dripping. You are even stopping other people down to go closer to President William. I'm telling you, so many are afraid to go with CDC again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you want to know who should I into how you think. To this call, Uncle Brian Tate, good evening.
Yeah, Neighbor. Thank you and more and all the family on the show. This is Brian Tate. You know, I want to thank you so much, and I like the way you cut the thing off. You know, sometimes when you're looking for peace, and the road to peace have been, adapted. You don't go back to what happened before. I mean, we are talk for the last 7 months, and the people went to elections. They are elected their leader. It's really left with them now. How the leader will manage the affair of the household, that the Liberian people can benefit from what they will do. Because in the house there is where all the budget and all those kind of things. But what I want to say is that nobody have.
Wow. Stay off the line, but a few more calls. 0770203125. That's the number to call. Yeah, my uncle stay off the line. I will call you back later. Hello, to let's call. Good evening.
Good evening, my name is Patrick. Calling from Coffee Shop.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I want to appreciate your panelists and that of Mom. Mom is my mentor. Since I've been listening to the show, really, he been saying things that they have come to reality. Although I don't really, because some of the panelists, they wouldn't say things, because of out of anger, they insult. But Mom, he speak the fact, he speak the truth. And what you are saying today about people crying, jubilating at the hospital, people are jubilating because the past 7 months, the work of the newly speaker, it was magnificent. So the people were celebrating because this may have been elected again. So because the work today, we listen to some of the some of them today on the ground, the cabinet meeting, they were appreciating Richard Cook because they are working out during the past or 6 months. Some people crying to the tears of joy. They were excited. You are talking again about the distributing community. Yes, the former speaker did that. He did not appoint any oppositions not before he appointed. So that thing already been set up. People already when they are won our election. So people distribute that t-shirt.
All right, thank you. You do me, I do you. That's the country we live in now, according to you. Hello, to this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mabel.
Yes, my dear, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for your show, Mabel. The problem is family. I joined a discussion for Omega Martin, the legacy of former president. Mabel, so now I listen to your show, so now I want to relax and I want to call some guys and be the first for the call. Mabel, what the development the government doing that they won't say about? Mabel, look, it is the first time in the history of this country for citizens to reject so-called development. See what is happening in Baburu County. Mabel, former president, we are constructing huge. Are you getting me? Huge.
Yes, so my dear, we'll listen to you. Go ahead.
Huge hospital. Mabel, the poor government, the bill, first came for today to the citizens rejecting that development. Why in the world government hope the development and citizens rejecting the development, citizens opposing the Mabel? That is development there. So president, we have the real development and they are coming with fake development, then they put about it as development there.
Okay.
Somebody talk about some Mabel. No, the offer, you might say, I now be doing with send out for somebody to come mislead all the woman you know, Mabel, I for Niba when you go to Niba now, people feeling bad. People feeling bad, but look at the one that is over election. Mama, you never see the kind of vote, Mama, you never go acquire. Hey, get it?
Yes, thank you, my dear. But you're feeling well, because I don't want we're talking about my brother. So thank you so much. You're feeling well. I don't want to spoon for you or before you say that, Mabel. So this caller, good evening.
So, Mabel,
yeah.
Thank you. Well, there's a other principle like it.
Prince, Prince, hold on. Are you the person that said that, in fact, when there is election, you will not call an issue again? Because one of you made that statement. I'm still trying to record the person.
No.
Okay.
I think Samuel Kekula was the person that said that there won't be election.
For the speakership.
For speakership, as far as it concerns Richard Coon is legitimate.
And you called today, you never call anymore. I was just listening to him. Yeah, he called. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
For me, I'm not discouraged. It's just that what we are witnessing today is something that pathetic, is something that some of us never thought of seeing today. For no moral, the issue of morality, dignity, and prosperity at the House of the Legislature, it is gone. It has turned to a manpower government. If you want to convince your colleague for you to gallop anywhere and have quorum, and you guys will be recognized, ignoring the Supreme Court ruling is something that actually beats my imagination. But again, we are here. We are listening to the claims and counter claims from the angle of CDC and that of Unity Party. And those two groups, actually, they always make me to feel somehow because they are very good at entertaining. All of us will do the wrong today and defend it tomorrow. When your friend trying to do the same wrong, then you will see them. But where was you yesterday when you were doing the same thing today that you are condemning? So we are here, we are watching it, and we will put everything into perspective. Tomorrow, history and posterity will judge each and every one of them. Thank you for the show.
Thank you so much, my dear brother, also for your participating to this call. Good evening.
Yeah, neighbor, this is Summer DK, but let me clarify something. So, you guys are right partially. I said yesterday, I found no Richard Coon remain a speaker. So I was not expecting another re-election for him. However, he decided to resign and contest in the election. But I did not say when the election, I will not go on the show. So I never made that statement yesterday.
Okay, Joe. All right. Thank you, sir. Oh, God, the country interesting. So let's call a good evening. Quickly now go over to our team because we want to use the 10 more minutes to go. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, my dear, good evening. Who are your name and from where you join us?
Yeah, this is now currently, and the next thing that is going down the capital building.
Now we're asking what next?
Yeah, the capital building, the issue of the capital building that was going down because of several politicians. I think that the issue will go follow now in the court.
All right.
The next issue now.
All right. Thank you so much. What next? That's the question, but all of you are shaving blame, party business, you're all. But anyway, we're back. Let you the remaining few minutes to respond to all of the calls and the statements and so forth. Yeah. So Mark and the ambassador, we're back after hearing from our people. So I don't know who's going to go first. Maybe Mark. Yeah, Mark.
Well, not much. Another day to be on Sktv, like I always say, but that's it. The country, you can say the country will not burn. This thing will happen. We'll move on. And the one thing I like in this whole thing, I really love, is the idea that we got a precedent. You know, sometimes you can put your heart. I made a statement on the show. I say, in politics, I don't bet on the Constitution. I bet on politics. But some people misinterpret my statement. They be like, I want to be lawless. No, the reason I say that because Constitution are subject to interpretation, and whenever someone interprets the Constitution, it's still considered an opinion because you can be 100% right. You're trying to prove intent. It's not like a criminal lawyer or a corporate lawyer that looking at facts, that looking at documentation or money trail. No, Constitution, you are trying to tap into the minds of people that existed more than a century before you. So they figure out that at the end of the day, anything you say is still an opinion. It's not factual. But the thing here is, I will say again, and I think Louis said it. Louis said two things: the numbers game, whether it's about quorum, and the whole thing about our people always going behind bad folks. Sometimes I think I agree that sometimes we cry more than they believe. I mean, more than they bereave, because at a certain point in time, it's almost like they want to prove us wrong, that they will do anything. They'll be like, okay, since they say we're suffering, let we just do it more. That's how I've seen it from Nema County or any other election. And like Louis said, the next election, they will do exactly the same thing, and they will go on the tribal line, they will go on the sentimental line, they will go on the whole party line. Because at the end of the day, maybe, like the video you just showed, what more can you say? Nobody. No, they want to put our mouth, they put that on the other side. That's it. They are not looking at the precedent. They're not looking at how it impact the nation. The only people that are mad with Rachel Kuhn are mostly sedition. The only people that claim to be rule of law caucus, and not the lawmaker, I'm talking about the individuals in the country, are people that are sedition. Whether you like it or not, it's a reality. That's why I told the audience on the show, I said from the day I got to understand the main reason I was driving the legislative impasse, I knew that both of them didn't mean well for the country. It was all about power, it was all about leverage, and it was going to do anything possible to retain power. Maybe when you live in, I pray one day you come to the Western world or anywhere for that matter. When they say respect Constitution, let me tell you, only people like us, little people like us, people who are not in the position of authority, we are the one that can follow Constitution. The people that violate the Constitution the most are those in the position of authority. Because when you give people power, they only ask for more power. Maybe when they have election like, bro, you must not the one that can certificate the winner. You must say another one that get any position. We don't import ambassador. We are not the one that can sign budget. So what make you think that you, the ambassador, or myself could be the one violating Constitution? No. Only people that are in position of authority more than likely will always violate Constitution because for them to see it from a power perspective. So don't think that some of us, because we made certain statement, we mean that we want to be loyal. No, that's just the reality. You're seeing it happening in Liberia every day. You look at the president, you look at the budget, your Senate, your House of Elder. Look at how what they did with the whole budget issue. So when we say these things, it might not sound okay with you, but at the end of the day, we will maintain our position here. And I will say again before I take my leave, or before I can take a break and let the ambassador to do his thing, I will say again, if this same president resurface, the same way we make the case for Fonantikofa, Rachel Kuhn, I will be a blowing trumpet. The day you end up losing that 37, because as far as I'm concerned, that's a constitutional provision. That's the first order of operation. In my world, a quorum, quantify, or I call it a legitimate or speaker. The day your majority black or your whosoever, the law is the law, the day they break away from you, we will be saying exactly the same thing and making the same case against you. That for your case, Ali Fonantikova went to the Supreme Court so that the precedent read it. But in your case, we won't even entertain or Supreme Court or hearing. The day you loses that number of 37, you fall below enemy line or beyond enemy line, my brother, you are out. and we say exactly the same thing. That's what I can say for now, maybe.
Ambassador, more interesting. But go ahead, we got to go. Ambassador, we are not getting you though. I don't know whether it is your gadget or something, but we're not getting you though. Ambassador?
So, you know, there's a column we talk about. Hello, are you hearing me now?
Go ahead, we're listening to
Hello?
you. No time.
Am
Yeah,
I
go
okay
ahead.
now? Am I okay now? I think it was okay. Okay. So there's a column we talk about the issue at the house, especially the burning down of the Capitol building. We cannot sweep that under the rug. You know, we will continue to talk about the Capitol building, the destruction of that building, and the what led to it, the group responsible for that building. That building must be fixed by their own salary. Let them come on the floor, deduct their salaries. Each of the representatives should take some money from their salaries to fix that building. That building has to be fixed by that group, both the minority and the majority. For me, that's the next thing. So the column will talk about that, I support you in that, and that's exactly the kind of advocacy that we want to do. And also, all of the laws that were broken by Richard Kuhn, he must be prosecuted, he must be brought down to justice so that he accounts for everything that was done under his watch, you know, as an illegal speaker. So we stand by that, and we still see him as an illegal speaker who broke the country's law and came to power somehow. So I want to say thank you for this show. I appreciate everyone, the colors and Mayborn. Monk, thank you for everything. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. And let me say thank you to Monk folks. So we got to go. But before we go, let me say this to all of us as people. Indeed, let me be frank. The politicians, I think you got to double up for our people, even though our brother from the island there knew it that indeed the people, I think they're not feeling, maybe they're not feeling the pain, so they feel that they can let anybody at any time and celebrate people whenever they want to celebrate. So the thing is just about them voting and celebrating people. No, we are saying, no, you have to graduate from that. It's not just about you celebrating people or voting people. No, your life has to move forward because the lawmakers, their lives, the life of their children, their family members are all moving forward. But your life stayed there with $50 per month and you're not celebrating people. So all we are saying here today is that it is a right to celebrate, it is a right to vote, it is a right to support people. But who are those people that you are supporting? Are you just supporting people because you want to support them? No. So you should think outside the box. And again, to the speaker, we want to say, like the ambassador said, I think it's about time that you unite the house. Make sure that you bring all of your colleagues together and make sure that at least that our house be a place for people to go there. People say, yes, indeed, we have lawmakers now who are together, who are united for the sake of our people. Because every time you people will be fighting back to back for no reason, just because of money and power. At the end of the day, all of these things just 6 years contract. And if you don't care for some of you, you will not be given that opportunity to go back and serve your people. So all we are saying here is that do the right thing for your people and make sure that you do all you think you can do for the sake of Mama Liberia. Thank you so much. And Ambassador, thank you to all of you, to our viewers and our listeners. Good night to all of you. No time. So we have to go. We catch you again on tomorrow. By the grace of the Almighty God, I'm Johnson May Bankula. Good night from my end here on the Sktv show. Thanks to all of you.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Monitor people who waiting to serve. Blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The promise is giving us care, the promise of death. So welcome and life with African.
I live
Master.
Clever so make you again Sktv venyo. Se macheni tina ke asema jamu. Engi sano muni emu aye yo. Engi lofa mu emu aye yo.
Sktv. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't flee ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't flee ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I forget it now ya to money. That's the TV, and I forget it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lopa and grand bazaar.
There are things we can do. We bringing good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out part of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to serve. The session that time and our efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and I promise my best. To work with my life with us, yeah. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombay, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Backwater, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.